Hello everyone, today I'll be showing my run for this week's Elite Ranked on Chutes. So, if you're wondering, why didn't you make a farming guide? Well, this is why. So, we have a whole bunch of 032 and 130 spikes. So, the 032 spikes, they're there to kill the first two skulls of Elite Lich, and 130 spikes are better after the second skull. So, we have a little combination of both. This bottom spike, on far targeting, it should reach the Elite Lich, but I messed up the positioning here, so it targeted the bottom instead of the top. And we also have a Bloom Trap to catch all the ceramics. And it's perfectly timed. Look at that. 48, 98. It's okay time. It's not frame perfect, but it's good enough. For my standards, at least. So, for the tier 2 boss, we have some 032 spikes, and we use Homeland. So, why do I use Homeland? There's a little interesting trick of Homeland. Lich's first heal is at is at the first frame that Lich is vulnerable. But at that first frame when it heals, it has 180k HP. So when it does heal, it's still at 180k HP. So it is worth using Homeland just for that. And we also have a whole bunch of 032 spikes because they get 4x attack speed in the first 3 seconds. And we have a whole bunch of 140 spike storms for once round 60 ends. I do use too many spike storms here, which causes the last goal to be quite slow, even though I do get Homeland back. Pretty slow, last goal. 138.23. Pretty meh. So for tier 3, I realized later that it would probably be a far better idea to do Homeland into Spike Storms for the first skull. So I get Homelanded Spike Storms, which would kill Lich faster, and then I could have Homeland and Spike Storms for the last skull. I didn't realize until after I'd finished tier 3 that that was definitely a better strategy, and I could have gotten at least a sub 49 kill using that strategy. Originally, this was supposed to be uh, one skull with Spike Storms, and the rest of the 7 skulls were using the Engigon to kill the boss. But during the boss, I realized, oh, I got all these Spike Storms back. It would probably be a good idea to use them, and that's what ended up happening. So yeah, this entire part of me using the Spike Storm, this chart is entirely improvised. I didn't think of this until I saw the Spike Storm ability start coming off cooldown, and then I realized, oh, I could just use Spike Storms. It's not that great of a time, but for tier 3, it could have been a lot better than this. Now tier 4, this tier is definitely the one I'm the least proud of. I should have gone for a Wizard Paragon here. Unfortunately, like, I thought I didn't have enough eco for tier 5 if I went for the Wizard Paragon. So I went for a Boomer Paragon instead. But at the tier 5, I had like 500k cash left over. And if I had gone Wizard Paragon for tier 4, I could have saved like maybe like 3 seconds on this tier. And I'd still have the exact same time for the tier 5 because I'd still be able to afford everything. And also these turret cells, they're incredibly unoptimal. Like, I actually sell 2 turrets here, which is pretty bad. You can see how incredibly unoptimal my tier 4 is. It's definitely my least proud of tier I'm least proud of. So for tier 5 is quite slow and laggy, sped up to 2x. So my tier 5 strategy involves the use of the Ace Paragon NG Paragon in Wizard Paragon. So I use Carpet Bomb for the first skull, and I plan to use Carpet Bomb 2 more times during this tier. Now, what would have been a good idea is if I put the Ace Paragon in range of the Sub Paragon, I could have submerged the Sub Paragon to get this ability and cooldown back in time. As you can see, this Ace Paragon ability is incredibly delayed. If I had it in range with the Sub Paragon, I could have submerged the Sub Paragon to get it a little bit faster, maybe save like 2 seconds off of that skull. And then for these next three skulls, I'm going to have Wizard Paragon damage down the Tier 5 Elite. I preferably want it to be D60, but unfortunately I didn't have enough money for that. So you might be wondering, why didn't I use Homeland here? If you notice pretty closely, Elite Lich uses its heal ability just before the second skull ends, so I wouldn't have been able to use Homeland. If I had killed Elite Lich, maybe the previous skull is a little bit faster, I think I would have been able to use Homeland because the heal would have procced a little bit earlier. So for this final skull, I use Ace Paragon, and then I sacrifice the sentries, and then completely one-shot the last skull. And there. It's definitely not the most optimal tier 5, but it was the best I could do. Now, at the time of completion, which was a few hours before the event ended, 3 hours and 42 minutes before the event ended, I'm sitting in first place. But then, a little bit later, my time gets sniped from the leaderboard. I'm in fourth place, which is incredibly unfortunate. I didn't think that would happen, but well, it is what it is.